Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In today's video we are back on Soulstone Survivors. It has been forever since we've done a video, but we have the new update called the Path of Ascension, which brings us new skills, new skill tree, new ruins, new weapons, and just so much more. So firstly, one of the changes is we can actually now rotate our character in the selection screen over here in the main menu. So that is fantastic. And then I believe the developers have got some inspiration from Path of Exile, because if we have a look at our skill tree now, it is looking extremely insane. Now the one thing is, firstly, for the new weapons, we do need to be at least prestige 70 to have them unlocked, and then you have to go to the blacksmith and then unlock them from there. So today we are going to have a look at the Sentinel and his new Noxious Longbow, which gives us Noxious Shot, which is deals damage per the amount of stacks of poison or rot on the target. So very strong, and it also applies poison itself. So that is fantastic. Double dip in the poison for its own attack. Fantastic. So if we have a look at the skill tree, something I do want everyone to note is if you have a look at these nodes over here, so this is on our Spellblade or even on the Arcane Weaver, each character has these blue hinted skills in the skill tree. What those do is they are bonuses to all characters. So you are going to have to go and level up every single one of your character skill trees. As you can see, I've just gone 4 nodes over here just so that we are able to get the extra buffs on every single character. In this case, it's just like blast damage. It's applied to all of your characters, or area modifier by 5%. So every single character will get 5% extra area modifier, some critical damage modifier over here from the Pyromancer, and just things like that, just so you know that each skill tree has these buffs that are going to apply to absolutely all of your characters on top of the main skill tree buffs over here. So we're going to look at the Sentinel. We don't have every single skill tree or every single node of his unlocked as of yet. We can actually just increase that 2 more times. But the more prestige you get, you only need to be on character prestige level 150. Oh no, it isn't. It must be 175 then or something, because we're on 163, but you only need 150 points. So I'm not sure how the point system works. Maybe it's 1 for every so many, or I don't know what the case is there. We'll have to work that out together. But we only need 4 more points and we'll have a full skill tree anyway, so it's not that important. So we were able to get all of them on the Paladin, and our Paladin is sitting on 178. So I think it's about 175 is the level you're looking for all of your characters to be a max skill tree level. But anyway, let's jump into it. We are going to be playing on the Sentinel. One of the other things you do want to do, that I didn't mention, is make sure that you get all of the runes unlocked from the skill trees. So every single character has 3 runes that they unlock in the skill tree, and then you're able to use them on any of the characters. So this is the new runes that have been added. There are a lot of them. I would recommend just going through them and having a look at what they do, but a lot of the ones that I like is Divine Legacy over here. I am going to use Head Start, which means that we start the match off with 30% extra damage, 10% extra area, 20% extra cast frequency, but by level 30 all of these are gone. It is there for a head start, and it does help you very much in the early game of the runs. And then we're also going for Extended Reach. This is so that your projectiles range is increased by 80%. Now this is actually very fantastic when we're looking at projectiles like Chromatic Bolt, where they travel for 60 meters. If you add 80% of that, you're looking at an extra, I believe that's what, 40? Oh, sorry, not 40, that's an extra 4 meters. So it's just a little bit of extra damage over there. Again, you're adding about 80% more damage onto Chromatic Bolt in this case, because the damage is dealt by the amount of meters it moves. But that's the same for all of those shots, like ricocheting shots and things like that. But it also allows your actual projectiles to move further as well. But anyway, let's get into it. Runes, Multicast Mastery, Executioner, which did get a slight nerf, but it's still pretty good over here. Extended Reach, Head Start, and then Weapon Expert to get the second skill over there. Now the other thing that they did change is all the enemies are now new in the Caves of Delzog. So let's go straight into a high curse run and see what we can go. Now each character, or at least the new characters, the first couple, I think it was 7 of them. Let's actually, yeah, we'll take a look at that after the run. But each of the starting characters, so it's the Barbarian, the Arcane Weaver, the Pyromancer, the Sentinel Houndmaster, and the Spellblade, and the Paladin as well, if I didn't mention him. They all got a new passive. So over here it says we track down a wild panther, create a bond with him by staying close for a few seconds. Once the bond is formed, we mount the panther for 40 seconds and receive the following blessings, which you can just read over there. So now, as you can see, his eyes are glowing, and there is the panther. We've now got like a little link showing us where he is, as well as moving us towards him. Now, as you can see, we are moving a lot faster, and our cast frequency is insanely high now. So this is madness. I think the Sentinel probably got one of the best passives, that's what we're going to be calling them from now. So he got one of the best passives in the game, where he can now ride a panther. But now what the game developers need to add in is a bit of cosmetics for us, whether we buy them or use them as from Soulstones or something like that. So we could choose different animals for the Sentinel to ride. That would be really cool. Like, imagine being able to ride a Velociraptor in game. That would just be insane. So now we're going to be looking for anything that deals poison damage, and then also a chromatic bolt will be very strong over here. We're going to take ricocheting shot in the beginning because, again, we do have the extended reach, but we will obviously move away from that because we are going to be looking for the most amount of poison as possible. So we are going to be looking at getting noxious shot up and running, so I'm not too worried about getting damage or anything in venomous volley over there. We're looking again for noxious shot, and as you can see, the eyes of the panther do go more red, or they change depending on how close or how far you are to the actual panther. So it does give you a somewhat indicator as to whether you are close or far from the panther. And we have actually opened up the cage for the Easter event accidentally, so we just need to make sure we don't pick up any of those eggs as well. So there are still the upgrades or the Easter events and things like that that you just need to be careful of. The Caves of Delzog, it is only a 2-minute beginning, so if you don't break the cage in the beginning, you will be fine. I completely forgot about it, and that's going to cause us a little bit of problems in terms of moving around freely, but it's okay. Okay, 10 more points again. We're going to go for the acid rain again, looking for damage in our noxious shot, so we're going to grab that. Ooh, we just got a damage again over there, so we're going to lock the relentless. Grab. Ooh. Do we want poison bomb instead of the ricocheting shot? Okay, we're going to grab that. I'm not too phased about the poison bomb too much. We're going to grab the doom to dazed. That does give us a little bit of doom over here, so we're going to go and lock that. Grab the doom. That's fantastic, and we can then go and increase our crit as well as our multicast. So very, very nice upgrades over there for us. When we do have the Panther, we actually do have 4 dashes, so you don't really need to look for the dash for your characters, but as you can see, we are dealing huge amounts of damage. I mean, the first set of bosses are already dead and dusted. Look, in terms of speed running, this is probably not the fastest out there. There are going to be a lot faster builds. We did get a nerf to Carnage, which was the strongest build out there currently in terms of speed running, but you don't really have to worry too much about that. Chromatic Bolt did get a nice buff as well to it. The range did get buffed, as well as the percentage of negative damage dealt as well, so that's pretty good. And again, just reiterating, as you can see, the Panther's eyes change color depending on how far or close you are to him. So let's try and see if we can find it. There we go. You can see the eyes changing depending on the direction we are moving. So got to try and keep them a red. The red color is what you're looking for. There we go. And there's the Panther. And now we just stay close to him. and we again for a couple of seconds, and then we can start riding him. Fantastic. That's going to give us the movement speed we need. We can hand in this silly egg that we've got over there, and again you can see we have a lot of skill points that just come out of nowhere. You know, while you are playing this, you're so interested in trying to find yourself the free Panther that gives you so many bonus stats like damage, cast frequency, movement, and extra dodge to just help you with running around. And the nice thing is it gives you 500 bonus body mass. You heard that correctly, 500 bonus body mass. That is huge amounts, especially when you have so many of the goblin bombers in the high curse. Being able to not get hit around like a silly you know when you're being bombed around and things like that, not having that happen to you is just fantastic. So we actually on our Panther again. I'm not sure what slowed us down over here. Oh, the spider webs, that's it. So we've actually got 20 skill points over here to use, so let's go and use them. We can grab some of that. Cost, damage, movement speed's pretty good. Cast frequency is fantastic over here. Crit over there, we're going to grab one slow. Do we want one slow? Yeah, that's okay, it's fine. One fragility, legendary multicast. The venomous will be very good for our ricochet shot, and we can banish the block and just keep going for damage as well as some poisons, because you know the more poison damage we deal, the more damage we're going to get out of our noxious shot. So that's fantastic. Some cast frequency there and more cast frequency on our noxious shot. So I've already done a run previously on noxious shot. We dealt about 34 million damage. I think we are going to get quite a bit more damage dealt this run with it, because we do have the poison cloud as well as the acid rain. We do also have the chromatic bolt, which can poison or rot, and then we've also got yourself the chakram, which deals rot damage as well if you are looking for even more. You know, if you don't want to have the ricocheting shot as an option with the poison upgrades over there. So you can grab yourself the chakram, and that's going to give you a lot of rot as well on enemies and make it so you deal even more damage. So that is one of the replacement skills that you can go for. But as you can see, we do deal tons of damage. We aren't too worried about the amount of damage that we are putting out. The only thing with this build is, because it's so much green damage and because you are shooting so often, it can become quite a sensory overload in terms of just visuals, and can be quite difficult to see absolutely everything. But because we do actually kill things relatively quickly, you're not really too worried about walking into something and it dealing a lot of damage to you. So again, now we're just looking for our Panther, because it does give us a lot of good buffs. Make sure we're not going to get killed by the void presence as well. And we still got to look for our little Panther. He did run away. Unfortunately, the colors are a bit like deceiving because we are playing with so much poison. It is quite difficult to see him. Maybe that green color does need to change just a little bit, so that you can see your own Panther, especially when you are playing a poison build. But otherwise, a really fantastic build. The skill tree makes you extremely strong, especially if you do use all of the characters as well. And just it's such a good update. So many strong builds coming out. Every single character that got updated in this update is going to give you some really good skills. The barbarian now has a heal on the ground slam as well as on his or just on his ground slam. There is a heal that can crit as well, which makes him a very strong contender. You no longer necessarily need exorcism on him, as well as him having access to your swing skills, the scent of blood and things like that. The barbarian, now without the holy, is going to be extremely strong. So we will be doing a build on him with his ground slam, and that's going to be a really fun build as well. Very strong because he has the healing again. We've got the Pyromancer. He's got some really nice weapons as well. He's got some Doom stacks now, or a Doom stacking build. Very strong as well. The nice thing about the Pyromancer is his passive deals all the melting damage for you. So you can go pure Doom and still have melting in your kit, which is really fun and very interesting to have a look at as well. So very strong coming from there as well. And again, each character has their own unique abilities and power-ups that are making them so much stronger now than previously. So it's just wonderful to see that on all of the characters. We did actually need it, especially since they've started bringing in new enemies into all of the areas, especially in the caves of Del Zog. It is still one of my favorite areas because of the destructible objects. You know, that gives you a lot of free movement in the actual area compared to some of the others. And now we've got some nice, really looking good enemies in the caves of Del Zog as well with this update. So just really cool to see that happening. We are on our final fight now with the bosses. I can't even see where they are properly, but as you can see, we've already done so much damage to them without even trying, and that's just from our Noxious shot. It just deals so much damage because of the poison stacking, and I'm really happy with this because, as you remember, Purging Slam was a poison stacking build, but unfortunately we didn't really enjoy it as much because it removed all of the poison stacks. But now, as you can see, with Noxious shot dealing 38 million damage, and that was a walk in the park. Okay, it was a 9-minute run, not your like 5-minute runs and everything like that, but this was just an unoptimized build for fun, just to show you the new Noxious shot and the Sentinel's passive. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And always remember, keep safe, survivors. Until next time, cheers.